So you just change time lah. Change.
Okay. These are good steps. So you also tricky, is it?
That photo of my brother videographer. He uses this kind.
Okay, we will start the class tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. 7:45, and 9 o'clock is break.
I got already.
Break, and 9:15 or 9:30 depends on which way you end. And we carry on until 10:30 p.m. Okay. Tomorrow we start at 6. No. 7:45. And on Saturday we start at 9 a.m. 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. And we will break for lunch. Most likely 12 or 12:30 or 1, right? So, and we will end at 4:30 p.m. Alright. So we will start at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, ends at 4:30 p.m. So lunchtime. Just forgive us. Weiling was in hospital for 3 days. So even in the hospital, it's like she was working, right? Working, and coordinating on the flights and who pick up who and the class and what to buy and so on, right? So Parker, I say that we love you. Get well. We need you. Right? She will make the announcement tomorrow. All right. Okay. Today we shop. I'm the one of those facilitators. Right? Okay. We will end at 10:30.
Sorry, I was bumping this word. I transfer it at the front. Okay. So we are in the question and answer portion about the facilitators, but there are some of you that are really confused about how the class will go. Okay, how the class will go. I'll give you the just brief scenario of Okay, I'll just give you the brief scenario of the process. Level 1 is only 4 weeks long, okay? 4 weeks or 1 month. Level 2 up to level 5, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It's level 2 is 6 weeks, 3, 4, level 5, all 6 weeks. Only level 1 is 4 weeks. And the students will come to class only once a week. Okay, only once a week. And the session or the meeting would only last for 2 hours. I told you that before it used to be 3 hours. But we were able to do some adjustments so that because some said that it's quite long, the 3 hours, so we were able to squeeze all the things into 2 hours. So now we're doing it in the Philippines every session, once a week session, only for 2 hours. Okay, so that means in level 1, it's 4 weeks. It's supposed to be 4 meetings also, because once a week meeting, right? But because of the orientation, before the 1 month begins, there is an orientation. So all in all, the meeting is 5. You get the point, right? The meetings or the sessions is 5 because of the orientation. Okay. So for level 2 to level 5, it's 6 weeks, but the actual meeting is 7 because again of the orientation. Because every start of each class or level is the orientation for the students. Because there must be an orientation for the students. Otherwise, the students will be at a loss on how they would use the booklet or the workbook. Okay, so that's the scenario. So how is this process of discipleship happens with that kind of setup that you only meet once a week? What happens during the meeting? Okay, in the meeting or in the session, once a week session or once a week meeting. I'm confused with what to use, meeting or session. But you understand that it's the gathering of the students. So what happens during that each week's meeting is that the student will report to his or her group leader. Okay, so in the setting of the venue is by group already. Okay, except for the orientation, because in the orientation there's no grouping yet. Before the orientation is done, there you have the groupings already, and that can be used only for the next meeting. So they come in and they will report to their respective group leader, each of the student. And if the class starts at, let's say, 2 p.m., so 2 to 4, yeah, 2 to 4. So the class is, the meeting or the session is 2 to 4. So if the meeting is starts at 2, then the facilitator will announce, because it's the role of the facilitator, that the class now begins. So group leaders, you start checking your one-on-one checking of your students. So the students will take a short quiz. That's the first thing to happen. And that's to around 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes of the 2 hours is allotted for the short test or quiz. Okay? So there will be a quiz test paper that will be provided by the group leader coming from the facilitator, who is responsible of all the materials. So the group leader will hand to his or her students this quiz or test paper. And where is the questionnaires of this test come from? From the teachings in this audio. This is audio, not video. From these audio teachings. Okay, because every student will have to listen to these teachings, 2 topics per week. There are 8, all in all, 8 topics here. 2 topics per week. So that makes you are able to finish all of this by the end of 4 weeks. So from the first in the first week, when the students will take their test, they will answer the questions coming from the first 2 topics, the bad news and true repentance. The test is only 1 to 12 or 1 to 15. Pastor, yes, Pastor.
Each will have his own CD?
Yes.
Every student?
That's the packet for each student.
So they listen at home?
At home. When they go back to their respective homes and places. Wherever they are. They have to listen to that for that entire week that will pass. They will listen to that audio. 2 topics. So when they come to class, they will take the quiz. 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, the group leader will start to check their, this one, the booklet. Group leader will find out if they were able to check the checklist There are 4 checklists here, or 1 checklist for each week. So of course, because this is the first week, so the group leader will look at the first week checklist. Okay. It is the responsibility of the group leader to check it. Okay. If it is marked already according to the right markings, the legend is on the top. It will be known to the students during the orientation. This will be part of the orientation, how to mark these boxes. Okay, so we don't have to discuss it right now. But the legend is on the top. Okay, so the group leader will just look at it, and if there is something that is not, because the expected markings would be completed, which is marked with a check. Each box should be marked with a check. That means every task is completed by the student. But if there are other kinds of markings like completed with exceptions, partially complete, or incomplete, those are issues, those are problems of students that need to be addressed. So that student, if the group leader finds out that there are markings that is not complete, okay, aside from the first marking, the group leader will advise that students, after his checking of the this workbook and the notes, that student will be sent by the group leader to the instructor, because that's the role of the instructor, to handle students' problems and issues. It's not the role of the group leader to address and handle problems and issues of students, because his role as group leader is just to motivate, encourage. So he would say to his student, oh, that's just fine, you can just go to the instructor, he will help you find out what to do with that. Okay, something like that.
When the instructor handles this? Is it
Right after, so the instructor must be ready during the checking of the group leaders with the students. The instructor is just positioned in one of the corner, or the instructor should be have a place inside the classroom or outside if they
So
have.
he handled that immediately?
Immediately. After the checking of the group leader. If you are the group leader, after you check that student, after you finish checking of his notes and this one, then you send him to the instructor. That's the case. For help, because for sure that student needs help, because those markings are markings of, issues and problems that must be dealt with.
In Malaysia, we
Oh, no, that's why in the training of group leaders tomorrow, we will see.
Singaporean. This is Singaporean.
16 years here.
That's the warning for the group leaders. In the manual, the group leaders are reminded not to threaten or to condemn, or because that violates your role, because your role is to motivate, encourage. So despite of failures, despite of these issues, you still have to encourage and motivate him, and that you will explain that going to instructor is not reprimand. Going to instructor is the normal process for you to become successful, normal process of growth and development, and going to instructor is seeking of help and finding of what you can do with this. Okay, so that's kind of thing. It's not reprimanded. You cannot use that. Oh, because of that you might be expelled. No. Okay, so that's within the 2 hours happenings. After the quiz, the checking of the workbook, you are given, as group leader, you are given 20 minutes for the checking of all your students. What you will check is the checklist from this booklet, and then the notes. The notes. The students should have 4 kinds of notes. Sermon notes during Sunday service attendance, Sunday worship attendance, wherever they attended service, the last service. They should have the notes with them when they come to the class. Sermon notes, we call that sermon notes. They should have the faith builders, or these teachings from the audio, the 2 topics that they listen to. They should have notes on that. So 2 topics, they must have 2 notes on that. And also the daily devotions. The entire week that passed, 7 days, they should have 7 journal notes. Okay, available on the checking of the group leader. So that's the role of the group leader there, to check. That's 20 minutes. After 20 minutes of checking, every student who has issues and problems will be sent directly and immediately to the instructor. And the instructor should not hold so long. And every student, especially when there is line up of students, because our experience in level 1, there's a line up of students because everything is new in the process. So everything encounters several kinds of issues and problems and challenges and struggles. So they are all lining up with the instructor. So in that case, you have to provide another instructor. You have to add instructor to facilitate and to expedite the process. Because after the 20 minutes of checking, the group must proceed to the discussion, group discussion. They are given another 20 minutes for group discussion. But how can they discuss, and how can they will have a group discussion if other students are still in the lines to the instructor? So that's why the instructor should be also very fast or quick in dealing each of the students. It should not take too long, especially if only the students has only one issue or problem. Okay, so 15 for the test, 20 for the checking of the notes and the checklist, 20 minutes for the discussion. After that, you will have a break. The facilitator will announce, okay, group leaders, this is now time for our break. So whether finished or done with the group discussions or not, you have to end your group discussion because the facilitator announces the break time. So it should be break time now. So it's really the responsibility of the group leader to really, budget the time, not to exceed of the allotted time. So break time for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. After that, class resume. There the teacher stands and begin the class teaching. Remember, there is a teacher also. One of the leader of the class is the teacher. The teacher can be the instructor. So that is, we call that a teaching instructor. Or a teacher can be another person. It can be the pastor of the church or somebody who is able to teach. The material is provided also. There is a teacher's outline, teacher's materials. The series is on the love of God for the level 1 class. So the teacher teaches for about 50 minutes. So you have remaining 10 minutes. That's for the announcements and reminders by the facilitator, and then class dismissed. So the students will go home to their respective homes and places. and they will have to apply a discipleship life, basing on the checklist and the disciplines. Because the disciplines there, they have to attend church, they have to do ministry during weekends, like that. They have to have a daily devotions and prayer. That's what they do during the week. Everything. The lifestyle of a disciple. So this OSL really is, the process is actual. It's not really, they cannot be discipled by just coming into class. They are being discipled in their own respective fields of life. It's an actual application of a day-to-day life wherein they have to spend time in prayer daily, devotion daily, read the Bible daily, and listen to the teachings, attend church services, and do ministries. Evangelize once a week. They have to evangelize one person. That's part of the disciplines. I'm going ahead of the booklet already. That should be that disciplines are being presented and discussed during the orientation day. So they have to evangelize one person in every week of the entire level 1, and they also have to share their experiences of OSL to one person. So they will be able to have 2 names in each week. One name that they share the gospel with and invite that person to church, and one person that they share their experiences and all about OSL. So this OSL, yes, Pastor
So
Joel.
the discipline in 1 week itself, they have to attend the main service, midweek service, and the OSL class. Three
Yeah,
weeks.
so 3 attendance, all in all.
Wow.
If the church has a midweek service, they are encouraged to attend midweek service. But if they cannot attend because of other, let's say they have work or the other reasons, that is acceptable. And but weekend or Sunday worship service is a must. Midweek is kind of, it's a must, but understandable if you cannot. But at least you don't miss the main worship service, which is Sunday.
So we don't have midweek, but we have cell. So can we put that?
Yes,
Like a midweek?
yeah. In place of midweek, yeah, you can do that. That's the condition you can provide to the students. But for the instructor, if still that student misses the cell group, that would be forgivable and understandable as far as the instructor is concerned. But Sunday is a must. If he is absent or she is absent of one Sunday service, the instructor has the prerogative whether to allow him to continue the class or advise him to take the next level 1 class. But with as a rule, any of the OSL, no one of the OSL leaders, even the instructor himself, should not make a decision for the students. Even if the students is advisable to quit because he has a lot of struggles and you see that he is not benefiting from the class, you are advised to refrain from making decisions for the student. It must be the student who will decide. So anyway, in the training for the instructors, we will be dealing with those kinds of situations on how you will make your student, or how you will lead the student to make the right decisions, whether to continue or to drop the class. It should be the decision of the students, but never by the instructor. But as the instructor, you can help him make the right decision. Okay, so we will take that.
Have you ever got a whole class that quit?
Whole class?
Don't want that.
Not before, but we have a latest report on that in the latest this 2016. We have in Mindoro of the Philippines. The entire district was having the level 1 class, and it's a division of churches. One division, the entire division dropped only one person out of that division survived. That's the first time we have a record of that. But aside from that, almost everybody. We only have few people that dropped the class.
At the end, how many would go to level 5? What's the percentage?
We have not yet reached into level 5 yet. We're still on level 3 in the Philippines.
But you have been having this for...
From since 2011. The first
Okay.
level 1 was in 2010, September 2010.
So you have 5 years?
Yeah, the first 2 years we didn't have the level 3, 4, and 5 materials available. So we waited for that, and it was made available after 2 years. So we were stuck up at level 2. But right now the materials up to level 5 are complete in the Philippines. But the momentum has subsided. So we have to go back to those who have graduated from level 1 to ignite once again, because that's the reason why it is not advisable after taking certain level you rest for too long, because the momentum, the fire subsided already, and it's hard to gain back the momentum. So the idea and the advice is only 1 month rest after graduating, or after finishing one level. You rest for 1 month and then proceed to the next or higher level. That's the idea.
Now, who pays for this book?
The student.
The student?
The student, yeah. The student. By the way, these materials, if you want to translate, we are allowed to translate, I believe so, because the Philippines, we're now into translating it into Tagalog. We have done the translation of other materials already, and we are permitted by Pastor Jerry Derman. In fact, they are willing to help in the process of translation if you will just coordinate with them.
Do they have in Chinese now?
No. In the US, they only have the two translation, the Spanish and English. In the Philippines, we have now Tagalog, but not yet printed. Yeah. Sri Lanka also. I believe Sri Lanka has already translated the materials.
Sri Lanka.
But I just inform you that it's allowed. We're allowed to. But you have to coordinate so that they can help you in the process. I think so, because Sri Lanka, after Philippines, Sri Lanka was the next country to apply it as national program. Okay, so that's the scenario of this the OSL process. That it's not really a seminar type. It's really meeting the students just to serve the accountability for them, and then releasing them back to their community to live a life of disciple, and then come back again to be checked, then go back, and then there is the graduation. So if a student have a lot of misses or, you know, unfinished tasks, the possibility he might or she might not be able to receive a certificate of completion because of a lot of, you know.
So does the student need to repeat again?
Again, yeah. Because the system is already proven as effective system of transforming individual. So the tangible result would be the transformation that happens. If there was no transformation happens to a particular student or the students in general, something was wrong in the process or in the running of system. That's why it's the leaders of OSL is encouraged not to adjust the requirements or not to change the requirements, especially the non-negotiable, like the attendance and the listening to the teachings. There are non-negotiable requirements. Because if you change the requirements or if you adjust, we cannot guarantee, OSL cannot guarantee anymore the success of the process of building these solid lives. Okay, so what else? Any clarification? I say that because just to address some confusions between is this a kind of like just a training, and then after that, because in the Philippines we encountered a question like, can we not do the OSL in just one setting and after that graduation? You do it 1 week, let's say 1 week or 3 days, and then after that graduation of level 1. It's not like that really, it's not really like that, because it's really actual implementation on the part of the students. So it's as disciple makers, you have to observe your students. If they are changing, adjusting, or if they are becoming, if they are transforming, and then that's the only thing, that's the only time you can say something is going good and they're doing well. So there must be a process of observing and allowing, and so that's to me that's a biblical. That's how the Lord disciple a disciple, by allowing it to live it out, right? Okay, so that's really the good side of this discipleship program of Operation Solid Lives, unlike the typical discipleship program or training. Okay, what else? Is the silence means understood, or you reserve your own? Okay. Tomorrow we will tackle the two manuals, the instructor and the group leaders. So the reason I joined these two manuals, because these two leaders, instructor and group leaders, they really they should really work hand in hand together, and there should be a very good working relationship with these two leaders, the instructor and the group leader. So that would be for tomorrow, and we plan to on the following day, the Saturday, or the pastor Henry said that we start with 9:30. We will try to do the actual process of you're checking the workbook, right? Like that, and there will be some instructor handling cases of students. So I prepared some of the problems of students, and some of you will be playing the the role of a student, some will be playing the role of an instructor, some will be playing the role of a group leader and facilitator. That's what we plan to do on Saturday. Each of you will have a taste of how to be a facilitator or a group leader or an instructor or a student.
Pastor,
Okay, Pastor Joel.
Pastor Ray, just to confirm that only thing needed is the book and the CD, right? That's
Yeah,
all.
yes.
No videos on it. Because last time I remember someone mentioned there are videos and things like that.
Videos.
Yeah.
The videos are promotional.
Oh,
material.
promotional,
Yeah.
not
for the
the
students.
students don't have to use it.
Yeah.
Video, you can have Jerry Tillman's lecture preaching.
Optional, is it?
Yeah, in the video. I have the video in the DVD, Pastor. I gave it to Wiley already. Yeah, it's
In the YouTube, you can find
But that's not for the students, right?
not for the student.
Okay.
It is for the promotion or for the entire church to be attracted to the Operation Solid Lives.
I think we went to the online website and we found the videos there.
Video of what?
I think the CD, the audio, but it's in the video form.
The teaching.
Hmm.
You mean the
Teaching, yeah.
Yeah, Pastor Jerry is he has a video of teaching the Love of God series.
Hmm.
That's also part of the promotional